Hello and welcome to another edition of Addition. I'm your host, Addy, a16z's. I'm a big tech product manager, mathematician, futurist, tech optimist, artist and creator, and I'm here every week, typically bring you the news, the hot topics in tech, some career advice, an update on the markets, and let you know what I'm geeked out about this week. So before I get into today's episode, if you're watching on YouTube, go ahead and click the like button. If you're not subscribed already to the channel, go ahead and subscribe. You can also get the podcast directly into your email inbox through Substack. It's additionpod.substack.com. You can also follow me on Instagram or TikTok at Addition with Addy, Twitter at AdditionPod, or my personal Twitter is at Addy a16z's. And you can always email the show which is additionpod@gmail.com. And if you're listening on a podcast player, go ahead and follow and subscribe and leave me a 5-star review. So, all right, now that that's out of the way, let's get into the markets. So Bitcoin in the past 7 days is down 7.18%. Ethereum is down 9.01%. I will add a caveat that in the past 24 hours, Ethereum is up almost 2%, and that is because we just got some news today confirming the dates of the Ethereum Merge. So I'm going to quote from the block. So I quote, "The Bellatrix upgrade for the merge is set for September 6th, and Paris will follow several days later. Node operators must download client updates before the Bellatrix upgrade is activated." End quote. So we have dates for the Ethereum merge, and if you're not aware of the Ethereum merge, it's the move from proof of work to proof of stake, which, long story short, it's going to be better for the environment in terms of using less energy to validate Ethereum transactions. This has been in the works for years, and we finally have dates for this year. So I'll definitely be tracking that closely. I don't imagine they're going to hit these dates exactly, but it is exciting in the evolution of crypto that the merge is coming soon. Okay, moving on to the stock market. So the S&P 500 is down 3.12% in the past 5 days. The NASDAQ is down 3.92% in the past 5 days. So not a great week for the markets. But 2 weeks ago when I recorded the podcast, markets were rocketing up. Earnings season has been completed, so I guess the markets are just stabilizing. We shall see. So for the hot topics in tech, I wanted to talk about the Twitter security issue, but it's really not relevant for this podcast. But that's the hottest topic in tech right now. The Twitter whistleblower, the former head of security for Twitter, leaked a statement to the Washington Post. So definitely look into that if you're not aware of that. But I'm going to focus today on a16z's investment in Adam Neumann's new startup Flow. And this is why, you all may know at this point that I'm definitely an a16z fangirl. If you don't know what a16z is, it's Andreessen Horowitz. It's the most iconic venture capital fund in Silicon Valley right now, founded by Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz. Mark Andreessen was the creator, let's just say he was one of the founders of Netscape, essentially the creator of the first internet browser. I will link to the Internet History podcast episode where they go into Mark Andreessen, and I think you will have a little bit more respect for him as a person if you understand how pivotal he was in the tech revolution. Anyway, and Adam Neumann is the former CEO of WeWork. WeWork is still in existence today, but if you watch the epic drama on Apple TV Plus called We Crashed, it explains the whole story of WeWork. And while it was, really exciting to watch, a regular person found and grow a startup that was valued at multiple tens of billions of dollars. Now WeWork is in the single digit billions in value, and there was a lot of controversy about how he handled and led WeWork. There's a lot of criticism about him as a person in general, but at the end of the day, he founded a business that is still in existence today and is worth multiple billions of dollars. But they did raise way more money, Adam and WeWork, than the current valuation of WeWork right now. And he was famously ousted. It's not like he willingly stepped down as CEO. He was kicked out for various reasons. Just Google him, you will get the story. Okay, so a16z invested their largest investment ever, which is saying a lot, okay? Because a16z is very well funded, very well capitalized. They, raise billions of dollars a year to invest in startups. So they invested their largest investment, $350 million, in Adam Neumann's new startup, Flow. So Flow is pre-launch, which means Flow is not operating yet. And I have the link to Mark Andreessen actually personally wrote an article explaining investing in Flow. It's actually a great read. Andreessen Horowitz has kind of pivoted from being solely a venture capital firm to also being a media company. So they have excellent writers and comms teams, as well as podcasts. They have podcasts as well. But so people are very surprised by this because Adam Neumann was publicly kicked out. There's a whole TV show about his rise and fall as a founder. There's been, books, articles, think pieces, podcasts explaining why this, or of people who think that this guy was a grifter or, like a manipulator, cult leader, a lot of criticism here. So people are like, why is Andreessen Horowitz investing $350 million in this guy? So if you can't tell already by the way I'm prefacing this, I'm actually a supporter of this investment. So I have some bullets explaining why this makes sense to me. So while we don't know exactly what Flow does, we do know that Flow, the company, or Adam Neumann in general, has purchased large apartment buildings in the Southeast, so including like Atlanta, Fort Lauderdale, etc. So we have this general idea that they're attempting to build a WeWork for homes. And if you read the letter that Mark Andreessen wrote, it seems like they're attempting to solve the housing crisis in a certain way. But if they are building a WeWork for homes, basically apartment complexes that are focused on community and, modern, trendy decor, and, potentially maybe they're all furnished already and you can just hop around from apartment to apartment based on what location you're in, I think that will work. I'm a millennial adult living in Atlanta. I rent. I would like to buy someday, but the type of home that I want to purchase, it's going to take at least more than 1 year to purchase and save for. And I also do like the flexibility of renting, and I'm not alone. And there's a housing shortage. Any investment in housing, in my opinion, is going to work, especially if they focus on community, friendships, social connections, etc. People are desperate for these kinds of connections, and they don't necessarily want to get it from work. They kind of want to, make friendships as opposed to, work relationships. Only certain people are interested in having work friendships. So, yeah, I think that will work. That's my first point. 2, this is a major PR pivot for Andreessen Horowitz from crypto. So as you all know, Andreessen, they were, investors in Coinbase, OpenSea. Well, maybe you don't know, but they were very early in crypto. They made a lot of money in crypto. As we had the crypto crash this year, people were essentially criticizing a16z for investing so much in crypto and offloading their investments on retail investors like myself and you potentially listening. And they kind of did need a big PR shift. So now what's more tangible than crypto? You know, people think crypto is not real, it's funny money. Well, making their largest ever investment in a brick and mortar real estate business is a major PR shift. It changes the perception of a16z. They don't just do crypto, even though that's their best performing investments over the past few years. They are pivoting now into real estate. Also, the fact that it's the largest a16z investment, I see it as signaling, Andreessen Horowitz signaling founder support. So as I mentioned before, people have been attacking Adam Neumann for years. Literally Apple created a whole TV show that was critical of this man. So in venture capital, they can only make money if they have founders who want to work with them. So investing in someone like Adam signals to other repeat founders who may have failed in their first business in some way, on some level, to say, hey, Andreessen Horowitz will still support you. It's very similar to the ethos of Founders Fund, which is Keith Rabois and other folks' venture capital fund. That's working for them at Founders Fund. And Andreessen's always been founder focused and, supports founders, but this is a huge signal that says, we don't care about media and critics, we only care about founders. Okay, so also people are like, why is Andreessen investing in Adam Neumann again? He lost a bunch of value for his investors. He may or may not be a grifter. But I mean, how many of you guys have started literally from scratch with your bare hands a multi-billion-dollar business? Like, come on. We cannot pretend that Adam is not skilled in any way. You can't grift your way to achieving what he achieved. He actually had a vision. He had a business plan. It wasn't the best business plan, right? He built a team. He was able to, lead a team. Maybe it wasn't in the direction that we think in hindsight he should have gone, but he demonstrates all of the qualities of a founder, and they're incredibly rare. Think about the last time you did something unorthodox or took a risk. This guy does it, every day, and that's the kind of attitude and persona you need to have to be a successful founder. And I honestly admire the fact that I'm sure he was affected by all of the backlash, but he's doing it again, and he may fail again. I honestly don't think he cares. He just believes in himself. He believes he's changing the world in a positive way. Why wouldn't Andreessen Horowitz invest in Adam? Okay, then there's a note people have been talking about, why do underrepresented founders like women, people of color, why are they not getting even a chance, and this guy is getting a second chance in a much big way? So one thing, I don't necessarily think this investment is about necessarily return. I'm sure it will return over time, but not necessarily venture returns. Venture returns, we're looking at 100x, 1000x return on investment. Real estate's kind of more of a slow churning kind of business, but again, I don't know what they're doing. I think this is more about A16 building their PR and brand. And also, what if Adam Neumann is a celebrity, so he's not just another stereotypical founder. He is he's a superstar. So if Adam doesn't go to Andreessen, Adam can go to another VC fund and shine a light on that other fund. And as opposed to Andreessen, venture capital is a very competitive industry. So I think it's important to be reminded that there are underrepresented founders in terms of, funding, and, VC isn't necessarily allocating enough funding to underrepresented founders. However, I see these as two completely separate issues. Also, Adam is an immigrant. He's Jewish. He is from Israel. So it's not like he, went to Stanford and graduated with a computer science degree and is now a founder. So he is kind of an atypical founder, but I get it. He looks like a stereotypical founder. He also has an incredibly thick accent. So I personally think he's underrepresented in a way. Yes, he has privilege, he has a lot going for him, but he's underrepresented. Also, last point, I promise, where do you think this money is going? It's going into the economy, it's going to create jobs, and considering the weeks and months that I've been reporting on layoffs and hiring freezes and rescinding offers, people are going to be employed now by Flow because Flow has money. And even if the money goes to purchasing buildings, the companies that own the buildings have employees, we need money going into the American economy. Would you be happier if Andreessen invested $350 million in, a startup in another country and we would not directly benefit from, job creation or anything like that? I don't know. So I get it. It's not great optics, but if you really, peel back the layers, I think this is an excellent move. Okay, so I'm already over 15 minutes, so let's get into the career segment. So this is week 5 at Google. It's been at least a week since my manager has been on paternity leave. So this is in the past week, things have gotten real, but I would say things are going really well. The one thing I have changed is that I've been coming into the office every day, and I'm going to share some bullets why. So one, I've been expanding my network and friendships significantly. There's a bar downstairs for happy hours to, connect even further with my new, coworkers and teammates. There have been morale events. If you follow me on Instagram, you saw I was at the Atlanta United game last week. Literally never would have had that experience if I, wasn't coming into the office regularly. I've also been attending hybrid events in person. For example, if we have a town hall, they'll book a conference room that can fit a lot of people. And a lot of people just choose to stream it from their desk and, work in the background. You can still work with your laptop in a conference room. Anyway, long story short, I highly recommend coming into the office as much as you can if you have an office where it makes sense. If your office has no one there, don't go. If you're literally the only person going. But I wouldn't underestimate the connections. Also the mood boost. I've been working from home for so long by myself, living alone, and I know if you're a parent or, if you're married, it's a different situation. But I'm just so glad to be back integrated into the world. Also in the career segment, there was a follow-up question on the last episode where I talked about asking for help. And someone asked, how specifically do I, Addy, ask for help? And honestly, that's a really good question. Initially, I was thinking, just ask for help. But I actually ask for help in nuanced and strategic ways. So first, let's get a mindset shift. So no one does anything alone. So we need to get this idea out of our heads that we need to be doing everything ourselves. So that's the first step. Just nothing great has been done by one single person. We need each other, for better or for worse. So let's shift our mindset there. So the way I ask for help is by asking questions. So for example, if I feel overworked in general, or I feel like I have too much on my plate and there's no way to take anything off of my plate, I can just ask, do we have funding for support? That's a way that I can ask for help without directly asking for help. Do we have funding for support? Maybe yes, maybe no, but at least the person I'm asking knows that I need support. Another way, if you want someone to help you who, maybe is someone on your team or on another team, you can ask, can you share some best practices? So like that makes them feel good. It's like, yeah, I actually do have best practices. I can share them with her or him or them. So that's another way. Also, can you help me understand? Again, this feeds the other person's ego. They're like, oh, she doesn't understand, but I do. Yes, of course I can help you understand. So those are just some ideas. So just to get your brain turning about how you can ask for help. Because I agree, you can't just say, I need help, because people are going to think, help with what, you know, and or feel like immediately overwhelmed because it's not a specific ask. So yeah, those are some starting points. Do we have funding for support? Can you share some best practices? Can you help me understand? Okay, so what am I geeked out about this week? So yes, I'm going to acknowledge the fact that I did not record last week. I honestly needed a social media break in the best possible way. It's not like I was having, you know, anxiety or mental health issues. It was because I was having so much fun in real life. Like, I have a lot of positive things going for me in my personal life, obviously my work life I've been sharing. And, you know, I have a new social circle at the office that I'm building and growing every day. You know, happy hours, lunches, dinners, brunches, etc. So I honestly, I have been recording, I've been taking videos and stuff, but I just haven't had the time, or I haven't made the time to post on social media, and I just needed a break last week. So this is, if you feel exhausted if you're a content creator and you feel like you want to enjoy the last bit of summer and you want to take a break, it's okay to take a break. Like, if it's okay to take a break at your company that you're being paid to work for, it's absolutely okay to take a break creating content which you may not directly be getting paid for at all. It's something you just decided to do out of your goodness of your heart. But I'm not going to be inconsistent. I am going to go back to weekly. I just appreciate the break, and I'm ready to get back on board. Okay, well, that was this week's episode. I will see you next week. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, send me questions, all of that. All the links to the articles, things I talked about are in the show notes, and I'll see you next week. Bye.